Well, good afternoon, everyone. A little weird saying good afternoon, but as we are now trying the BREW at lunch on Wednesdays, or noon, depending where you're at, noon Central Time, we are here. So my name is Brendan Derone. I am the Chief Distribution Officer with E4 Insurance Services, and you are on the BREW, building relationships every week, or now every Wednesday, however you'd like to look at it. So today's national days are National Chicken Wing Day, National Lasagna Day, and National Lipstick Day. So I think that's more meant for half the country, but I guess anybody can wear lipstick, so give it a go. With that, a guy who may or may not wear lipstick, haven't really asked him, Casey Lane is our presenter today. Casey, longtime friend, known him for, well, probably close to 15 years now, but the first 10 of it, he was bald, and then one day shows up with a full head of hair that I didn't think he could grow. And, well, that's your little tidbit about Casey Lane. So with that, I will hand it over to you.
Brendan, can you hear me laughing? I hope you can.
I can, yes.
Okay, that
I
means
hope it's intentional.
can hear me. It definitely is. And by the way, I'm going to keep it a secret. I could or could not be wearing lipstick right now, and I will admit I have what I call a beard, or my wife calls a beard. I call scruff. I've got the 4-month quarantine scruff going. I still look like the guy you guys see on the screen here, but just with a little more facial hair and probably a few more grays up top. So, but Brendan, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate it greatly. Also appreciate all of you folks here on our webinar, our call today. Obviously, you're independent agents that work on commissions. You folks aren't making money unless you're in front of clients and prospects. Brendan and I joked just beforehand, you don't get paid to attend these things. I wish you did, but unfortunately you don't. So unless you're in front of clients and prospects, you're not making money. So for you to take some time out of your schedule and away from those folks is greatly appreciated. And Brendan and E4, thank you folks for giving me an opportunity to be on your BREW call. I love the name. I love a good brew myself. So appreciate the opportunity and, more importantly, the partnership. So I want to share with you folks probably, if you want to, I think I can say this, it's probably one of the 5 best pieces of advice that I've received throughout my lifetime to date. And I'm sure I'll receive hundreds of more over my lifetime, but this is probably one of the 5 best pieces of advice I've received to date. And it came from my father. And it happened the day that him and my mom, I told them I was offered a job as an insurance agent, like you folks out there in the field with the career agency back in 1993. Of course, I was giddy straight out of college, my first job, my first career opportunity. And I remember my dad, this was after, it was in the evening, it was just him and I. And he said, son, I want to talk to you here in the kitchen. Come on into the kitchen. So got in the kitchen, and he was so serious. I sat down across the table from him. I didn't know what to expect. I thought, oh, God, maybe are they going to start charging me rent? I got a job now, so they're going to start wanting money because I was living at home. But he looked me straight in the eyes, and again, I can picture him today, and he said, son, he goes, whatever you do over the course of your lifetime with your investments, your retirement accounts, your stocks, mutual, whatever it is you invest in, he goes, just do one thing, and that's don't put all of your eggs in one basket. And I know that's so cliche. We talk about it, we live it, we preach it every day. But to a 22-year-old, I was a business and economics major, so I kind of knew what he was talking about. And obviously, as the years have gone by, obviously I know, and I've gotten in this business, and again, I preach that to date, to not put all your eggs in one basket. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about exactly that. We're going to talk about Bob. And by the way, my father's name is Bob. We're going to talk about the benefits of blending. And we're going to start with actually looking at what would happen if you do put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to an index annuity. Then we're going to take a look at what are the benefits of blending or diversifying in an index annuity. And then third and last, I'll end with just a couple of perks for you folks, for you as agents out there in the field. But first, compliance had to get their 2 cents in. So there is compliance's. And by the way, if compliance calls you, we went through this slide word for word. I doubt you'll get a call, but so I sit next to my sales desk. When I'm at the office, you can't see me right now, but I'm working from home. I'm in my basement. But when I'm at the office, I sit right next to our sales desk team who take on average anywhere from 50 to 80 calls a day inbound. And probably a third of their calls are illustration requests. Agents wanting, like yourself, wanting to run illustrations. And I kid you not, I can tell exactly how 6 out of 10 of those illustration conversations go. And what it boils down to is, after my sales desk rep asks all the questions, what product, give me the client specifics, what state, non-qualified, qualified, et cetera. The question they ask then is, okay, so what index or what credit indices or crediting methods do you want to allocate the premium to? And again, 6 out of 10 times, you know what the answer is? Whatever one illustrates the best. And I can hear the sales desk rep say, so you want to put 100% in whichever one illustrates the best. Yes, I do. So you know as well as I do, folks, you've been in this business, I'm sure, long enough, a lot of you are probably longer than me. No one index, no one crediting method, no one strategy is going to be the best performer year in, year out, year over year. And we'll go back 10 years and just look here at our periodic chart of indices. This is available. Actually, this is a client-approved piece. This can help you set the stage for talking about diversification with your clients, because you very well may have a client that says, hey, I heard North American's got this Russell 2000 index. Nobody else has it. I want to put all my premium there. So I'm not going to go through this year by year, but just take a look. My main point is, in no one year or no, multiple years in a row, do you see any one of those colors at the top or near the top. You're going to see those colors spread out everywhere year by year. No one strategy, no one index is going to be the best year over year. So why do we want to allocate 100% of our premium to any one index or crediting method? I say we don't do that, because there's a lot that can happen if your clients put all of their eggs, all of their premium into one strategy. And you're probably thinking, well, Casey, what does it matter? This is an index annuity. They can't lose any money if there's negative market performance, and that's true. But we want to take advantage of diversification. But let's take a look first at what would happen if you could, or you do, put all of your eggs in one basket. Now, there's a lot of numbers here on the screen. Basically, what this is showing is, I think looking back hypothetically, on the left-hand side, we have 3 different indices available in our products. Now, those are not the current rates. This is for illustrative purposes only. So the interest, the average annual returns you see on here are not exactly what is depictive of today's interest rate environment. This is for hypothetical purposes only. But you're going to see here on the right-hand side where it says allocation, if you put 100% of your premium into the S&P 500 low volatility daily risk control strategy, assuming a 5% margin, what would happen is, over the course of, I believe the total number of instances that this was run was like 18,200. It went back to 1999, and a new policy was purchased the first of each month. Bottom line is, there's a lot of scenarios that go into play here. But if you put 100% of your premium in that strategy over the course of that time, you would have received on average 2.7% average annual interest credit to your index annuity. And just go down the line here. If you'd put 100% in the annual point-to-point with a participation rate, you would have averaged 2.6 per year. And if you'd gone 100% in the Mark 5 index, which is one of our more popular ones, you would have averaged 3.3. Again, these are for hypothetical purposes only, not current rates. That's not the number I want you to pay attention to. The number I really want you to pay attention to is that bottom number. And as it says, that bottom number represents the percentage of time over the course of that period, how many times the client would have received a 0 on their statement. A 0. Again, we're not losing money, but how many times it would have gotten a 0. And you can see it ranges from 24% to 42%. I mean, not quite half. I'm in sales and marketing, so it's not quite half on that one at 42, but anywhere from a quarter to almost half of the time, depending on which of those crediting methods you went 100% in, your client would have gotten a 0 on their statement. And I know, and you know, that 0 is your hero, right? I mean, it's true. If the market loses money, you'll start at that lower point next year, right? And anything above that you'll earn as positive interest. But how many times have you told a client that zero is your hero and here's why, but yet that on that policy anniversary when you're doing their review and they have that zero and their neighbor or their wife who has the same policy got a 3% interest credit? Well, how come I got a 0 and they got a 3, or my neighbor down the street said he got 7? You know it's never fun having to explain those zeros. Even though, again, zeros are hero, and in these scenarios, quite a few times your client's going to have a 0 on their statement. But what if, instead of going all in one strategy and trying to find the one that illustrates the best, let's do some blending. Let's do some diversification within those various indices. Same scenarios or same indices here. We didn't change the indices. Oh, here's the number. Here's the statistic. So one contract issued daily between 2000 and 2016. So looking back at all of those policies, 18,630 different scenarios, interest credit scenarios, that's what these numbers represent. So here's some blending ideas. And do you have to do these exact blends? No, you could do 50, 25, 25, 80, 10, 10, doesn't matter. The point is blending and diversification. So here, the first one, we went a third, a third, a third. Second one, we went 25, 50, 25, 25, 25, 50. Again, 3 different blends amongst those 3 strategies. You're going to see pretty similar type returns that we just saw with going all in the one, right? I think it was 2.4 to 3.2. So very similar average annual returns. But look at the number of times, or the percentage of times now, that the client received a 0 in all of those scenarios. They're all the same, 9.3%. 1 in every 10 years, roughly, in this example, the client is going to have that 0. Every other year, there's going to be some positive interest credits. And again, you can see an average there about 3%. By blending, by diversifying, we eliminate the need to have those discussions with clients around those zeros when their neighbor, their wife, their brother probably got some positive interest credits. So my whole point here is, instead of trying to chase the returns, because you know what happens, I'm sure you've all sat down and on policy anniversaries, the client sees their statement and maybe they got a 2% interest credit, but they can see, had they been in this one index, they would have gotten 5%. So what do they want to do next year, or for this coming year? They want to go all in to the one that got 5% last year. And how does that usually work out? Not usually very good. So by doing this blending, obviously you're seeing very similar type returns, a lot less number of years with zeros. My motto is diversify amongst 3 or more strategies, put that client's policy in the file cabinet, shut the drawer. You don't have to worry about looking at it ever again, because one year, one strategy is going to do well, maybe the other 2 won't. Next year, the 2 strategies that didn't do good last year will do good, but the other one maybe won't. Diversifying provides huge benefits to not only you, because you'll be less stressed about those zeros and having to talk about them, but for your policyholders as well. And here's a quick example. This is a true current rate environment on our top-selling VersaChoice Index Annuity with, again, 3 different types of allocation strategies, diversification strategies up here. Here you can see the average annual interest credits. A couple of these strategies, we have a fee for rate strategy where we actually charge a fee. So you want to take a look at this net annual effective rate. Look at those average returns over the last 10 years. Those are pretty strong. And look at the number of years of zeros in those 10 years. The number of years the client got a 0. And every one of them, one time in the last 10 years, did they get a 0. My point here is, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at the VersaChoice as an accumulation product, please do so, and do some diversification even within the VersaChoice product. So we looked at putting all your eggs in one basket. We just looked at diversifying or blending some strategies. Last thing, just a couple of perks for you folks out there in the field. If you're not familiar with it, we have our EPC program. This is our Agent Loyalty Rewards program, and basically it rewards you as the producer for writing business with North American. For $1 million of index business, you're going to earn a 50 basis point retroactive bonus and then 50 basis points additional comp monthly. If you can get to 3 million, we'll go back again and retro 50 basis points on the full 3 million, and then we'll start paying you an extra 1% each month for your index business. And if and when you hit the $5 million mark, Again, retroactive 50 basis point bonus on all 5 million, and you'll start earning 1.5% going forward. I know you folks are always looking at ways to help build your business. How can you spend some marketing dollars? This is a great way to help you put more money back into your business. And lastly, this is really a client perk, but it ends up being a perk for you agents because you can write a lot of this stuff, and I know you guys have written a lot of this stuff. And I believe I even saw a wonderful video by Mr. Brendan himself here when we first kicked off our MIGA rate special back in April. The kitty cats and kittens or whatever. I know I can't recite it. I know Brendan probably can. But don't forget about our multi-year guarantee annuity rate special. 3-year right now, high band is 240. 7-year high band, 3.25%. So here's my call to action for you folks to end this. Your next case, your next 3 cases, I want you to call Brendan. I want you to call his team or our sales desk. It doesn't matter. Ask about the VersaChoice. If you're looking for a product with accumulation, ask to have an illustration ran on the VersaChoice and do some diversification, do some blending of the indexes, because you're going to find a couple of those strategies are averaging almost double-digit returns, but you're going to see a lot of zeros too. So call our sales desk, call Brendan's team, call E4, call your marketer, run some illustrations on the VersaChoice, and do some diversification. And with that, Brendan, I think I took a little bit extra time, more than I was allotted, but I think that was not too bad for the first brew on a Wednesday afternoon.
You did great. You're just going to get cool cats and kittens right.
Nah, darn it, I knew it.
Tiger King. With that, if anyone has questions, now is your chance to ask. Because Casey did run a little bit long, I just had Danielle do the drawing. She's got something computer generated. If we have time in the future, maybe we'll do it live. But today, Diana won. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name, but we know who you are and where to find you. So that Starbucks gift card will be in the mail. Thank you for attending, and I want to thank everybody for attending. Have a great rest of your week, and thank you, KC and North American.
Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.